So today, Dickens is projecting. I know we have heard, they say that 85% of people fear change. How many of us have heard that? 85% of people fear what? Change. Actually, what they are saying is it is difficult for 85% of people to change. Not that they fear. Get it? Eh? It is so uncomfortable for them to do what? To change, that they would rather not what? Change. Even if they try, they get, it's like a stiff mountain. They fall back. So today, yesterday I was talking to somebody who was telling me, just yesterday, you know what? I think there are people in Spring Pharmacy who have made up their minds never to improve on their anger situation. So I actually changed what I was going to talk about. What I was going to talk about was the lies the community has told us about relationships that actually affect us in our relationships. See that's what I was going to share today. For example, you hear people say, if you marry a person who has more things in common with you, get it? You will not have many problems in relationships. Men look for very beautiful women because they think a nice packaging also has nice contents. See that? You hear in the comments during Kwanjula, during the weddings, people tell you, wow, have you seen the girl? Get it? The bride is very beautiful. Most of the speeches, people say, you've got a very beautiful bride. Get it? That kind of thing. They think a beautiful package also has what? Nice content. Hey, it's a very big lie. You get it? Yeah. People think that when you marry, the function. When you do the function will settle the scores. You see, please make sure you marry her. They think that the function will somehow settle the what? The scores. It's a big lie. So I wanted us to go into detail why those things are lies. But following what happened yesterday, since we were supposed to wrap up, get it? Because last Saturday we had a team that came here and they wasted our time. I was seeing a pattern. They just come, we are talking about dapagliflozin. It's a kind of a new molecule to most people. And most of us, when they are coming like that, we're like, okay, let me see properly. And I hear what they're going to what? Talk about now to take us deeper into the molecule. Because these are the people who are owning the molecule. It's like they're owning it. These are their brands. And then they are not saying anything. Why are you combining with metformin? And you're not saying anything about it. See that? It is strange. So I said, these people are just wasting our time. Clinical and you're talking about why it's different from amlodipine or nifedipine. Get it? I said, no, these people are just wasting our time. Let's get to our own things and at least we can become better. They're just telling us when prescriptions come, sell our molecule. Get it? Our brand. So today we want to look at why is it really difficult for us to do what? To change. You see, because we have decided to change, but it's very difficult. Yeah. And you'll bear with me, I've not had enough time to make proper notes. Get it? So, and this is the background. Most of us, when we were young, we learned to wear masks. Now we know what wearing masks is. Pretending. See that? Yeah. Like you see, one time I was supposed to become a priest, by the way, but they rejected me because when I was in P6, I was not yet what? I had not done Holy Communion. So they asked Has he done Holy Communion? They know that this one cannot go to the seminary because he hasn't done Holy Communion. Get it? Eh? That's how they left me. In fact, they wanted if I was already confirmed. So that wasn't the case. So they left me. But one thing you notice when people are in church, the way they walk, very holy. See that? They reach the altar and then they bow down like this. They even do the sign of the cross. Then they continue. Now, you notice at school there are those notorious guys. They're also very humble. That's what they call wearing what? Wearing a mask. Like in our place, when you brought a woman to marry, she doesn't eat a lot of food. Just little. But after the function, they start to put a mountain. That's what they call wearing a mask. So we normally wear a mask when we're young, or we don't become authentic. You don't speak the truth. You don't reveal who you really are. They tell you when you're going to a certain place, say, you people, make sure you behave. Okay? Make sure you behave. We're going to Uncle Richard's place. Yeah? Behave, okay? But yes, daddy. Yes, mommy, we're going to get it. Eh? So sometimes you are there, the mommy just sends you a signal. So you cannot be yourself. You can't be authentic. You see that? Eh? Yeah. So then you don't open up. I remember when for the marriage fellowship. Get it? Eh? So Dorcas told me, don't go and talk buam buam. Don't go and talk what? Don't go and talk buam buam. So, meaning don't what? Don't open up. You see that? Recent 2 days ago, somebody sent me a secret. That by the way, I've told him my family secret. Don't go to spring and tell the workers. Don't tell my colleagues. Keeping secrets. Then don't trust. Get it? Eh? We are told not to trust. We are told to manipulate. You see that? Eh? We are told to please people. People please us. These things are tools we used to have, get it, eh? To survive because life was hard. Maybe daddy was too harsh. Get it, eh? You're watching TV. When daddy is coming, what do? You first switch off the TV. You see that? Eh? Then when daddy comes, you have even opened a book. Now you're doing homework. So those things were for survival because if he got you really enjoying yourself, you're in trouble. Now those things were for survival. And it helped us to do what? To avoid suffering. Get a point? Suffering. And we normally do those things even when we are mature. I'll come to understand. Now, in the short term, they gave us positive consequences. There was no hurt. Get it? Eh? Some of our needs were met. So, good boy and all those things. People liked us more. Get it? Eh? And were able to find some connections. Those were the benefits we used to have with those kind of what we're calling maladaptations. Mal means bad. Maladaptations. But in the long term, there are negative consequences that you only realize 20, 30 years what? Later. This is what we're experiencing now. Being tough when we were young was okay because no one tampered with your things. Then you come to spring. Now, it's a problem to work with other people. See that? Eh? Next, we are looking at how complex trauma makes it difficult for us to do what? To change. So we learned these things because of the families we're in, the environment we're in. It had what? Complex trauma. Yeah. Now, the child doesn't choose these adaptations because we wanted it. Want to be a bad child? No. We did it to do what? To survive. We did it to survive. If there was food in Henry's home, you had to be with Henry. through lunchtime, through times of meals to eat, and you will not be in your home because food was not enough in your home. It was just for survival. Now you're going to get married. Get it, eh? I remember there was a friend I had, his name was Jacob Okelo. I came home when Guluan, we only to me and Dorcas. She served supper and I told her, but I'm full. So she's like, so where did you eat from? I said, from Jacob's place. What did you eat? I said, we ate beans, that kind of thing and what. Then she told me afterwards, I think the next day in the morning, it's like, you know what? You're going to choose from today. If you're going to be eating from Jacob's place and to be with him, then believe me, either me or Jacob. I tried to understand why. There was no answer that came. It's like, you're going to choose. That thing annoyed me so much. I'm like, look at this woman. She came into my life when I already had Jacob, my best friend. And she's telling me it's either him or me. I got the explanation 2 years later. Adaptations. Next. Yeah. So, the fault is not ours initially in choosing to survive. The issue is, are we going to continue or are we going to change? See that, eh? Knowing that in the long term we are going to hurt other people. See that, eh? Because it's no longer necessary to survive. So we now become at fault for refusing or failing to do what? To change. In the beginning, we would lie to do what? To survive. Did you steal? If you try to be authentic by saying that, yes, I'm the one who ate the meat, you'll be in trouble. Remember, those of us who would eat a maido, Mommy would come and tell you that there's something that's going to my eye. Come and blow. So you run the tongue through your mouth to clear. Now, when they come to blow, that's when they catch you. Because it will be smelling, your breath will be smelling the genans, then they get you. So we would learn to be authentic, not to be authentic to survive. But now, this environment we are in, if you continue like that, you are now hurting other people. The challenge with us is this: we still sense danger. So we still you create a reason to continue with our maladaptations. That's why it is difficult for people to do what? They are still sensing danger. Are you saying? You are on your phone and then your partner shows up. What are you going to do? Get it? Maybe you're watching illicit what? Content. So what are you sensing? What will happen after they discover you? Get it? You're communicating with Ashianzu. Get it? So what are you going to do? You're sensing danger. You are in spring and then the supervisor passes by. You're sensing danger because of what you're doing. So you resort to, get it? When they ask you what is happening, your response is to build a boundary. So you lash at your supervisor or at your colleague because you want to create a boundary to keep the person away because you're sensing danger. And people don't understand why you're not dealing with your anger. Next. Yeah. Now, we notice this, that when we are young, that there are three parts of the brain. Just some simple division. The brain stem, by the time we are born, Bena, let's be in class. Let me speak this generally, you people. Don't think I'm speaking to somebody else. I'm speaking to each one of us. So don't think it is who, it is you. And this passage is very deep. As we go, you're going to realize. So put yourself in the scene. Don't be absent-minded. Get it, eh? Actually, I'm very tough. I'm not leaving anyone out. It's not a joking subject. Because some of us are struggling in our relationships at home with our partners or with our children or with our parents or at work here or with the neighbors. And we don't understand why. You think it is a neighbor with a problem or your mother or your wife or your husband or your workmate. But the problem is you and you don't understand why. You just don't understand. And you're very tough. They must change or else I bolt out. Many of you are coming to me, want to resign, but you don't even know why. And you think that without that change, you're going to get a better place out there. The same thing is going to follow you and you continue running. Last time I mentioned a scripture here that the wicked what? Flee when no one is chasing them. You are just chasing yourself, but you don't understand even why. There is just fire, but you don't understand why. You can't sleep well, you can't settle, you can't do what, you don't know why. So, the next part of the brain that runs our operations is the limbic brain, the limbic system. This limbic system now becomes a problem. The cortex matures later. Get it? Eh? Now, women, you hear that they mature earlier than men, isn't it? But I want to tell you something. Men never mature until death. Because the limbic brain is 6 times bigger than for men. So even when a woman has matured, the emotional, the emotions, what we call the emotions, is contained in the limbic brain. That part is 6 times bigger. So reasoning, rational reasoning is subdued in most women. Get it? Eh? So the way a child needs a mature father for stability, most women need a man to submit to for stability. So when they come, the man speaks one word, no. Yes. And that becomes a guide. But if they're to go with what is boiling, many of them would crash. Get it? Eh? So, just for your background, you're intelligent. Yes, everything is working on well, but there's that aspect. Your limbic brain is 6 times bigger. Yeah? Yeah. So you end up what? Trumping the cortex. You make decisions based on how you feel. So then they tell us husbands that women actually, if they are to ask them, how is your husband? Is he a good man or is he a bad man? Their response is based on how the husband makes them feel. If you give them good vibes, you're a good man. But if you make a good decision that gives her a bad feeling, you're a bad man. That man, get it? Eh? It's bad. Even if your decision was good. But if it gave bad feelings, you are bad. The same way to a child. So now let's understand this. That the limbic brain normally runs the show when we are young. Get it? Eh? All the survival mode is governed by mainly by the limbic brain. Flight, fright, flee, fawn, freeze. Get it? Eh? By the limbic. Now, the choice of our things from the time we were young, as we saw earlier on, was for instant gratification or short-term gain. Get it? Eh? You're going to lie, you're going to do all the things. To do what? To avoid the negative effects. So you can benefit for that short moment. It doesn't think about long-term consequences. Now, in complex trauma, there is this kind of ongoing fear, always there. It keeps a person in their limbic brain. So it's essential that a person learns to recognize that when they are in their limbic brain, they will not care very much about the long-term consequences. They will make decisions that seem to give good immediate consequences, but not long-term. This is where our challenge now comes from. Because even now when you are big, when you sense danger, get it? What happens? The limbic system kicks on. You need to survive. Get it? You need to survive. If you don't have money in the pocket, what are you going to do? You're going to think of stealing. Look around. Are they seeing me? Get it? Immediate what? Gratification. Instant. Not long term. That's just an example. Next. So it's essential to learn to recognize when we are in the limbic brain so that we can get out of it. Get it? I gave an example. We had a discussion down there in retail. I was there with Cleo, Benna, George was on the side, and Shanzo was watching. Now, Cleo switched to the limbic brain. None of them were able to detect. Get it? She had switched. I told Benna, at this point, it cannot make good sense into Cleo anymore. You need simply to apologize for apparently offending her. Are you getting me? So George hasn't come, says he lost an aunt. So, but the issue is, George then asked me, but how did you notice? Because I asked Cleo, is it true? He's like, yes. So most of us get to the limbic brain mode. We get turned on. Limbic brain gets turned on when we're not what? Aware. We still think we are in the cortex. We still think we are reasoning soberly. Not knowing that survival mode is now what? On. I might get HIV. Get it? Yeah. Where is that guy right now? He must be spending time with a prostitute. And what is now going to happen is, he's going to bring me sickness. He's going to waste my money. He's going to do this. And that anger is going to boil without you knowing. And every decision you're going to make from that point on, get it? Is now based on the survival mode. And it's going to be wrong. But for you don't know. You actually don't realize that you want only immediate what? Gratification. The long-term consequences, you have not thought about it. See that? So, you need to get out of it and then to be able to get into the cortex. Otherwise, they'll continue to live with bad decisions that lead to bad consequences and lots of regrets. This is what's happening. Most of us have left people thinking they're bad long ago. And we have tried, and every decision you try to make, you realize that the first person was actually better. But you did not know that you use the limbic brain for what? For making a decision. It is suited for that moment, but long term you realize, you know what? It wasn't worth it. Get it? Some of us have left your place of work maybe out of just a simple misunderstanding. Then you come to spring thinking it's better. You realize that, get it? The other place was even better. You see that? The limbic brain. So maybe let me ask, how many of us can tell, because we had that question, how do you tell when when the survival mode is kicked on, when the limbic brain is active? How do you tell? Richard? I remember we have had this discussion. When the limbic brain is stirred up, how do you tell?
When the person becomes more defensive,
That's the reaction. When you become defensive, when you feel you are being attacked. Get it? You see, did you meet Paul? Your answer is no. A simple question. Did you meet what? Were you with Paul today? Like Paul? No. But the answer is you're with Paul. That question, you interpreted this was an attack. Get it? And within microseconds, you're given the answer. What else? Yes, Bonnie. When the eyes become red, there's that hormone called cortisol. It gets discharged. So it affects the heartbeat. Your temperature goes up. You begin to sweat. Your eyes, the pupil becomes small. Get it? There's more blood flow to the peripheral areas, preparing for flight, fight, or whatever it is. So the eyes can become red because you can see those capillaries engaging with blood. So you can then see. What else? Those are reactions, responses. Yes, Bena. The tone changes. So there are changes that happen from within you, then there are changes that outsiders see. Get it? They are subjective. Yeah. So we said you need to understand yourself. Understand yourself. Very important. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah. Now, how do the consequences actually train us? Remember the consequences. Mommy comes back home and then they utter some statements because they find you, get it, in a certain way, even if you have pretended. So it reinforces the pretension. See that? Yeah. So the power of consequence to train the brain and shape the behavior. One of it, we shall look at, I know you remember this, Pavlov's experiment on the dogs. Get it? Biology of O level. When they would ring the bell, then they serve the food at a particular time. Get it? Ring the bell, then serve the food. Ring the bell, then serve the food. So when they rang the bell, the dogs began to salivate. See that? Expecting the food. The same thing happens to us now. There are things I would mention, but I don't have to mention them. There's a woman who says that when her husband simply blows the horn at the gate, everything, get it? Just his announcing his arrival, you get it? It's enough for her. That's a switch. So that's Pavlov's, an example. And then training animals, these dogs, they're trained with rewards. Like this ones, when you reach at the airport, then they bring a dog to sniff. Those dogs actually are addicted to cocaine. Very addicted. So they are looking for it. That is their reward. So that's how they're trained. See that? Then there was also an experiment where they put a glass tank where there is fish. Then they put a glass there in between. Every time fish came, they would knock the glass. They would knock the glass, and knock the glass, and knock the glass, and knock the glass. So after some time, they removed the glass. The fish never crossed the other side because they used to hurt themselves on the glass. This is how we are also conditioned. So in complex trauma, we can be mistrained. You see, when you become authentic, then you get rejected. And that was your experience over and over and over and over. So you had one of us here speak the other day that for him it's uncomfortable for his secrets to do what? To be aired out. Never make that mistake to do that. You know why? Because every time people go to know his real self, Get it? He wasn't valued. He wasn't what? Get it? It's very similar. So people now warn you like, I got warned 2 days ago. Please don't share the stuff what I have. Let you know. You know why? When you become authentic, you think that you're going to be rejected. Let me explain that very well for us to understand. You know, most of us are liked because of what we do externally, what we do. Get it? You come with a very good mark, they say you are a good girl. You see that? You go to church and you hear people say, for them, they pray for 5 hours every morning before they wake up. Or 3 hours. You know? Now, when you mention, if you're to come, imagine you wake up in church and begin saying, you know what? It's now one whole week. I didn't manage even to do what? To pray in the morning. I just wake up and dress up. Get it? Yeah? Do you think they're going to clap for you? They'll ridicule you. So what do? You shut up. And if anybody mentioned that this brother here has never opened his Bible for 3 weeks now, you would think that no one will even come and greet you because of the way we are conditioned not to be authentic. Because when your kind of authenticity is not what people are proving, then no one will put value on you. So we end up, we're in cell on Wednesday, the fellowship of church. So this guy ends up saying that he's a degree holder. Get it? You know why? Because there was some girl there who was trying to con. Doctors didn't pay attention. So I told Doctors, did you hear son so that he's a graduate? He's like, me, I was not paying attention. I was thinking about what? There was something they organized in their class. They lost somebody and there was some discussion. So she was absent-minded. I said, no, what? I know him very well. This man was in Watoto, was a Watoto child, get it? And then, so he managed to get a diploma, get it? And then now working with some firm. I don't want to give details. So he lied so that the girl could get him. But imagine after some time, the girl is going to discover that he's not a degree holder. See that? The marketeer, the mask will have expired. Get it? Yeah. So then validation. Most of us, our validation is appraising how our bodies are. You see that? And that becomes our focus. I was talking to some lady the other day. Actually, doctors were telling of somebody's daughter. She has enhanced her nyash. This somebody was with us. Then we happened to go to the US. She has enhanced. You can't believe it. It is like 5 times bigger. So now when you see the videos she posts, you're like, you get it? So I was in a restaurant on first floor. So I asked the manager there. She's like, you don't know how men crave for nyash. It's crazy. It is like when somebody sees, you get it? They just tremble. She's like, you don't know. If I could show you videos, they just. So it is something that validation comes from. So that becomes a problem. Get it? Yeah. And then hope. We shall discuss this later. Hope always results in disappointment. So this is something we're going to discuss at a later time. So like we said the other time, it's very difficult to convince the fish that the glass wall is no longer there and that they can travel across the fish tank without getting hurt. Why? Everything of the experience says that it's a lie. So in spring pharmacy, people are still seeing what? Danger. They're still seeing danger for real. Yet for you think now there's no danger, so there's no need of what? Being in survival mode. For them, they can't believe that. See that? They're still seeing what? Danger. Next. Now, there's aspect of creating and reinforcing the brain circuit. Let me give an example. If you have, you know how to ride a bicycle. How many of us ride bicycles here? Very many. Okay, you've seen people riding. In the beginning, actually, people fall a lot. Get it? And you really concentrate, you know? You concentrate so much, you sweat. You can't do anything else. If somebody told you to talk to your neighbor when you're learning, you say, can't you see I'm riding? Very fast. Can't you see I'm riding? Don't disturb me. But after some time, it will go to your what? Your subconscious. You'll even do it as if you don't feel it. You see these women of Gulu, they even put a chain of pots on top. Get it? And those women, and then they're riding a bicycle while balancing the what? Get it? Not only that those ones who dance while what? Balancing. But the first time you carry the pot, most times you broke it. Even if there was what you call a touch, that thing they roll around to hold it. So when you repeat the circuit over and over and over the steps, it becomes what? Kind of automatic. You go in auto mode. So we also like that. We have practiced our anger things over and over and over and over. That all you need is simply to trigger, like a matchbox. Once you trigger, the whole process goes effortlessly. Now, how do you stop such a person? Get it? How do you stop such a person? So, in the beginning, it takes a lot of what? Concentration, practice, and time to become coordinated, and then good at it. Then finally, the brain what? Builds a circuit. Now, once the circuit has been built and reinforced, becomes part of the subconscious brain, you can now do it without even thinking. Now, our anger, most times, is what? It's like that. Now, next. So once you fire it off, everything happens what? Naturally. Very difficult to interrupt the process. Or even stop ourselves what? Halfway. Very difficult. Now, in complex trauma, there are lots of thousands of brain circuits for survival. And many of them have been reinforced what? Thousands of times. Many. Once that circuit is triggered, everything in us just get it naturally, carries out the behaviors and emotions connected with that brain circuit. There is a gravitational pull to finish it once something is started. Get it? Next. Now, one of the purpose of dopamine, this is how it's difficult to change. Get it? We're just understanding why it's difficult to what? To change. Dopamine creates what? Pleasure. Get it? Now, when you have a memory, for example, you've been very hungry and then you eat food. Get it? You happen to get food. Your brain says, this is good. Get it? So the brain releases dopamine to register that memory that you see this thing is good for survival. The other time we asked the question, what's the most important thing for human beings? Most of the answers were what? Food. Who remembers the question? Jackie, who was marking? Somebody was totaling the marks. Brenda. The answer was food. It was Angel who said peace of mind. But let me ask you something. Some said money. Some said a job. Some said sex. Someone said sex. Get it? Should have been Bonnie. Yes. You know why? After getting a good feeling, the body releases what? Dopamine to register that memory and say, this is what? Good for survival. So it registers it. Get it? But let me ask something. With your food full in the store, with the money full in the bank, whatever it is, all your mattress full of money, with your peace of mind. If you don't have ability to solve problems, what is the value? With your lot of sex, like King Solomon had 1,000 women. Get it? Eh? I don't think you could even get it. Eh? Go around them in 1 year, unless even if you're a cock. Get it? It's very difficult. Get it? Eh? I'm telling you, 1,000. Hmm? At the end of the day, what did he say? Vanity. He chased the wind, really. Get it? Some people think they are man enough. You can't beat King Solomon. And at the end of the day, said what? Nothing. So if you don't have ability to solve what? Problems, amount of sex, food, what, piece of whatever it is, clothes, it doesn't amount to it. So the wisdom or the ability to solve problems actually will bring you the things that you wish. Get it? Eh? And keep on pushing you what? Forward. Because I promised somebody to eat. Get it? Eh? Lunch in Cafe Javas for that answer. You know. So if you put that answer, bring it forward and get it? Eh? Get lunch. I'm joking. So, so the release of dopamine to register that memory is one of the things that makes it difficult for us to what? To change. See that? Like Richard was saying the other day, that how can I live anger when anger is beneficial to me? I get what I want by becoming what? Angry. You see? So, like a crack addict, when he gets that rush, he gets the registration that this is good. Get it? Eh? Yeah. Then, so the reward is related to the memory of the things, the brain things are necessary for survival. And then, so the brain, get it? Eh? It gives you a good feeling for an experience, for something that even is bad. For example, anger. See that? Eh? But the long-term consequences is not something he thinks about. Long-term consequences comes what? Later. These are things that make it difficult for us to do what? To change. Next. Then there's what they call inconsistent consequences. Positive, then negative, inconsistent. It creates what they call false hope or fantasy, like how we gamble. So in complex trauma, most of our homes, the parents were not consistent. Get it? Eh? Yeah. They keep changing goalposts and promising you things. If you do this, I will give you this. Then you do. Then again. So a child keeps on getting what? False hope. You see that? Eh? False hope. So a child got rewarded occasionally for being funny or responsible, or a good athlete, or got away with stealing or lying. Something in their brain will keep coming back to it as a viable option. You know, they hope that there's a chance that this time maybe I'll get something, I'll succeed. That is something that makes it difficult for us to change. Why? Something like gambling can give you results today and tomorrow, no. But if this child is always told, keep on trying, keep on trying, keep on trying, get it? Eh? And sometimes they give you, sometimes they don't.